Hello, I'm Nikita, and my English subject is about headless brands and their advent by the emergence of social media. Before we delve into details about what a headless brand is, we have to talk about what a brand simply is. So it is the complete set of concepts, expectations, reputations, and impressions that are associated with a given entity. Usually that entity is a social group, can be one person, a group of person, a group of companies even, a service or a product. A product can mean different things to different people, and this difference can be especially strong when comparing the visions of people who run a brand to the perception of its customers. A brand is not the product itself, but it is strongly determined by product characteristics and deployment. When people come into contact with it, they form impressions about the brand based on direct experience. Products have affordances which give users impressions and suggest to marketers possible brand positionings. The brand is often strongly determined by graphical cues from brand assets, product design, and advertisement. So, in the end, a brand is a cultural phenomenon that emerges only when things come into contact with people. A brand lives in the minds of those who are aware of it. It's like a meme. As a brand grows, it becomes more than a set of impressions and associations. Its reputation precedes it. As impressions are shared across users and consumers, they often develop similar sentiments and feelings. In this way, a brand operates as a consensus system, facilitating a consistent set of beliefs across people. So we arrive at our issue. We know that historically, brands have been designed by corporations in a static, sort of non-flexible kind of way. But with the appearance of network media, this created a change in the way brands are managed and organized. Entities are now starting to exploit new ways of branding to reach a larger number of either niche markets or markets that were never before explored, and increase growth as a consequence. So we can ask ourselves, how is the landscape of brands shaped by the ever-increasing usage of social media to the effect of its users from a financial point of view? So basically, how have brands evolved with the appearance of social media, and we look at this through a financial lens. Our main talking points for this subject will be basically how you can make money and monetize your product or service with headless brands, the cost efficiency that comes with it, market reach, and customer acquisition, engagement, and retention. And then we'll look at one of the possible future evolutions headless brands might take with blockchain-based decentralized organizations as a financial incentive. Before we delve into all of those talking points, we have to establish a few basics about marketing. So, in marketing, you have what's called either a sales funnel, a marketing funnel, or a business funnel. There are ways in which you communicate the existence and the features of your product or service to your clients. So in a sales funnel, you have 4 phases. Awareness, it's when your client first becomes conscious of your product or service. Ideally, you would then move to creating interest in that person's mind. So this is when, if you maybe hook the person on simply browsing through your products, then ideally you'd move to decision, which is when the customer starts to think about making a purchase, and you might need just that small shove to make them come to the action, which is when you make the sale and the customer gives you the money, basically. Now, the marketing funnel is more or less the same thing, but it has a few more phases and it's more about communicating than making the sale of a product or service. So between interest and action, you have desire. And desire is about how you create a need in that person's mind or your client's mind for your product or services value. And then after you make the sale, so after the action, you have loyalty and advocacy. You have to look at how, once your client has made the purchase, how do you turn them into a recurrent client? How do you make them do repeat purchases? How do you make them come back to you to purchase or buy new products or new services? And advocacy is, given that now you have a solid base of loyal customers, how do you turn these customers into sources of marketing? So how do you make them advocate? How do you make them talk about your product to other people? How do you make them how do you communicate to them that your product is so good that other people have to buy it? Let's take an example with an e-commerce store. So first off, imagine the client hears somewhere about the store, and then they visit it online on their website. They land on the landing page. They are greeted with all sorts of products, and this is where data collection starts. They view certain products, either products that they heard from their friends or products that they want to search for, or maybe they looked in the suggestions bar and they clicked on one of it. Then they start to check out, and they group the different items they want to buy. And now, ideally, you will start offering upsells. So upsells is like that little push to say, hey, don't you want this product as well or this service as well? You basically offer more value, so they can pay you more for stuff they might need or they're not sure they need, but they could use it. And then you move to completing the purchase, and this is where they buy the product. They swipe their credit card or they give you cash, and this is where loyalty and advocacy comes in. This is where you have to think about repeat purchase, turning your one-time client in a recurrent client, either by sending emails if you managed to store their email address, or maybe offers, discounts, etc., so they come back to you. Let's also talk about the 4 Ps. It's more or less another way to present funnels. But basically, when you have a product or service, you have to think about the amount, the price tag for the value this product or service offers, and then you have to promote it. You can do traditional promotion like print marketing, so distributing pamphlets, announcements in newspapers, maybe do like a public announcement or public announcement on radio, or go door to door like a salesman. And then you have to think, is my product or service that I say put on sale, or not put on sale, that I want clients to purchase, is it digital or physical? And this will help you shape your brand and your marketing strategy. Now we can get into the meat of the subject. How do you make money with headless brands? Or the advantages, rather, of headless brands compared to traditional brands. You have increased customer engagement and loyalty because you can offer personalized recommendations with tailored product suggestions based on a customer's browsing and purchase history, which increases the likelihood of additional purchases because you basically know them. So you suggest more of what they want, and that's how you increase your chances of an additional purchase. For example, Amazon's recommendation engine. It drives a significant portion of its sales by suggesting products that align with individual customer preferences. In Spotify's case, you have higher conversion rates, whereas traditionally you have a one-size-fits-all marketing. Now with targeted marketing, you can offer personalized emails, offers, and targeted ads. Spotify does this with personal playlists and tailored ads. They listen to different tags that they placed on music you listen, and then they suggest more music based on that. You also have an increased average order value. So whereas you'd had a static order value traditionally, now you can customize your upselling and cross-selling by personalizing product bundles and upsell offers. So just as a reminder, upsell was when the customer was prepared to make a buy, you make them an additional offer, you suggest them a new product to their checkout cart or a discount, but you make your client somehow buy more by offering more value. Take Netflix's personalized content recommendations. In this case, it keeps users subscribed and engaged, boosting long-term revenue through retention as a consequence. So, onto cost efficiency. With Discord, you have a community feature where you can manage your community, and this reduces customer service costs by creating a self-sustaining community or a myriad of communities where users help each other. Imagine a company with a Discord server dedicated to product troubleshooting. This can increase support ticket volumes and save them time and money. In the case of Patreon, creators have a direct monetization option where they can directly monetize their content without the need of expensive intermediaries like publishers. Imagine an artist, in this case Siama Pedersen, who is a digital artist. He's very famous in the Warhammer 40k scene. He uses Patreon to offer exclusive content, reducing the costs associated with traditional gallery commissions and marketing he'd otherwise have to think about. In the case of Instagram, you can think about cost-effective marketing, which utilizes organic growth through user engagement. So, for example, you might have a small business that leverages Instagram influencers to promote products. And this cuts down on traditional advertising expenses. Imagine you're a cereal company that sells cereals. You might want to contact one of these influencers that does a floss dance or that bathes in a bath of cereals and then eats the cereals because they're so good. It doesn't matter he bathed in them, basically. With Facebook, you have targeted advertising, which is a more efficient ad spend through precise targeting in private groups. Imagine a niche brand uses Facebook groups to run targeted ads. This ensures higher conversion rates and lower cost per acquisition compared to broader campaigns that don't target people's preferences. Now, one other advantage you might want to look at is market adaptability. You have flexible architecture with headless brands, whereas before you had monolithic architecture. This allows you to decouple the front end and back end. You also have an agility in your response. For example, if there's a sudden shift in market preference, you don't need to fully overhaul your marketing system, which is your front end, to adapt to that change. Take Discord. Imagine a gaming company uses Discord to quickly launch new community features in response to player feedback. This agility helps them maintain high engagement and customer satisfaction. Same for Patreon and Instagram. I know in particular of a game called Potion Craft. Potion Craft is a game that uses mini games to let you craft potions. It's a simple concept, but they didn't have their own front end. They used Discord, and in Discord they created channels such as this one, Feedback, which allowed users to suggest changes and feedback basically for developers, and this allowed developers to quickly change the game when it was in like the beta or alpha phase before launching the product into production. Now onto customer engagement and retention. You can more easily encourage loyalty with developer to client interactions, and you can offer a repeat business more easily with unique season-dependent products or services. Imagine a content creator who posts detailed information or tutorials on building DIY FPV drones. They can engage with viewers through comments, live streams, and Q&A sessions, and they create, as a consequence, a loyal following. This leads to increased sales of drones and kit components. As a case study, take one of my colleagues from class, with which I collaborated. He actually is the guy who allowed me, or with which I worked, to make my own DIY drone that I also learned to pilot. He uses Instagram. He basically makes posts about drones and everything drone related, like aerodynamics, flight, etc. And he uses this as a marketing tool for his website called Caillou Frames, which is Caillou is a play on the word French, which means rock, because his drone frames that he sells are hard as a rock. They're made out of carbon fiber. And this is how he funnels clients to his product. Same with Twitch. If you have a 3D printing enthusiast who streams a live session of printing projects, he can offer tips about CAD design or printing processes. And this is a personalized advice that's adapted to each of the client's needs in particular. And this, as a consequence, enhances retention. With Pinterest, for example, if you use or want to share DIY skincare routines, you can offer a one-time or season-dependent visually appealing pins to your fan base. In the case of Medium, if you are a developer who publishes articles on productivity tips and offers exclusive templates for word processors, you can have people subscribe to your publication to receive regular updates and new templates, and this maintains a high engagement and retention rate. Now, we'll look at how headless brands might use blockchain-based decentralized finance, so basically Bitcoin and the like, to evolve into something new, something greater. This is a diagram of how different cryptocurrencies interact via a ledger, so a record that every user keeps to regulate the cryptocurrency market. This is a user network of DeFi, decentralized finance protocols. But one of the main advantages, or one of the things you might look for, is enhanced security and transparency with blockchain-based finance, which makes your transactions basically more secure, but also at the same time more transparent, because traditionally with centralized finance or banks, you might have less transparency because of policies or well-established central entity that doesn't feel the need to fully disclose how it operates. You could also have smart contracts. So in blockchain, you could automate payments and loyalty program and thus reduce errors. Whereas traditionally with manual processes or physical forms and the like, you would be more error prone and require more time. So we arrive at tokenization, which is one of the main features of blockchain-based finance. It's the process of issuing a digital, unique, and anonymous representation of a real thing. So whether it's money, whether it's a house, whether it's an image, it's what NFTs are. In Web3 applications, the token is used on a public or private blockchain, and this allows the token to be used within specific protocols. So if you want to buy an NFT with this amount of Bitcoin, you can do that. So in conclusion, we saw what a brand is, the definition of a brand, what a headless brand consists of, and the future for headless brands. That was it.